Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here tonight. We are live, Daytona International Speedway. What's going on, folks? It is showtime. You're right, definitely here tonight. We're about ready to put these monster trucks out here for the Birdsey. I hope I say that correct. I didn't even ask Bradley how to pronounce that thing, so I hope I definitely pronounced it right here tonight. So the Birdsey Construction Monday Night Thunder Racing Series League here for the truck guys. Man, I tell you what, sorry for the long delay and sorry for the late start here. They had their heat races, the first time doing it. It'll get better as they go along here, but nonetheless, doing a little bit of practice here. So
go ahead and get by.
I'll let y'all hear the sight sounds, everything that these guys are going through out here. And we're going to get this thing on the road. But what's going on, Robbie? How y'all doing, man, tonight? Terry, Robbie, Chris, everybody out there. It is awesome. So stay tuned, get ready here. We're going to about to take this thing, man. Green flag here already, so it's going to be awesome.
Sorry, not fence, Bruno. I know what you meant, but it's all good. Good Lord, Tyler. 1666, sir. Yeah, 1600. Yeah, I noticed he was bouncing around quite a bit.
42 pitting this time. That's my bad, Kyle. That was so old, that dude.
No, he's all over the place. He's got a bad connection.
Yeah, it'll be good in a couple minutes. He usually does that for him. Down and run perfect.
How's my voice sound now? What do you think, man? Tell you what, yeah, we got 100 laps of mayhem going to happen here tonight. Going to be awesome. So, how I sound? Trying to see if we can get old Ryan W. Daniels up in here with me. So, trying to get the team speak, so bear with me while they're doing the practice right now. If I don't talk too much, I will definitely be here. So, I'm see if I can't get him a team speak here. La, 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 la. Alright. Good to go now? Good deal, man. Yeah, I had to I turned it up just a little bit. No harm, no foul. Alright, I hope everybody's excited for tonight as much as I am. Kicking this thing off for the Birdsey Construction Monday Night Thunder. We're going to have to get that, it's a lot of saying right there. We're going to roll that off the tongue just a little bit. Nonetheless, man, I tell you, this is going to be extremely exciting here. I'm looking forward to it. Want to appreciate each and every one of you out here tonight. Definitely, man. Here I'm trying to talk to old Monday night. Talk to Monday night. I'm out here trying to talk to old Ryan W. Daniels. Bradley was going to be in the booth with me. He has decided to take over a tribute car for Cody West tonight, so he's going to actually jump in the truck. So I'm up here by myself. So nonetheless, that's okay. So I am showing him in a number 38 machine right now. It does have a beer bottle on the side of it. So I did an update on trading paints. I hope everybody's in the right paint job, but nonetheless, we're looking pretty darn good here. Yeah. What's going on, Waylon? How you doing, man? We're just waiting to get this show on the road. Yeah, I know I switched it. See if actually the title switched now, because actually I went in there and switched the title. Yeah, it should switch now. If you do a refresh, title should switch. So YouTube is kind of crazy. I can set an event up and be just fine, and you know, let's see if we can't get an idea of what they're doing. Trying to see what we're trying to do right here. Listening in to them. Alright folks, I was listening in just a little bit to the what they were talking about.
Good luck, everybody.
Alright, we're set to go back green flag here pretty soon. Yeah, switch, yeah. Yeah, well, YouTube's kind of crazy. I'll set the events up and I set up for the name, but when I go live, guess what? If I don't set the name up on the live part, it does the last one that I had. So, nonetheless, hey, everybody's here. We set to go, man, some green flag racing. Now, my thing is, I guess they're going to do an order of, and we're just going to run it down here on the grid here for you, because kind of unique. They did heat races. So here's your running order for tonight. Brian Hartford's going to set it up front. David A. Levine is in second. Derek Proctor right there in third. DJ Hargrove starting fourth. Chris Akers in fifth. Ike Raymond sixth. Joshua Spalding seventh. Kenneth Johnson eighth. Terry Mason ninth. And Blake Fallon is sitting in 10th. And I tell you, these guys are about to set off here flying around 2.5 miles of excitement. Like I say, we got about 38 cars here. And it's awesome. You're pulling for a different guy. Who are you pulling for tonight? Man, switching it up on me. We're under the lights too. That's a switch. You know, last night we weren't under the lights. Tonight we're under the lights. Daytona International Speedway, folks. I'm getting geared up for this one. Get kind of excited, man. We're about to see some door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel banging style action with the monster trucks here tonight. And folks, I tell you what, this is going to be exciting nonetheless. Looks like the number 12 is going to be the man up there. And the 18 machine. So I think they went off of what their practice was. So kind of a little different that we're kind of looking here, because they have heat races and whatnot. So, but nonetheless, we're about to get this thing, man, started. Joey Stafford, that's your man tonight. All right, well, good deal. Joey Stafford right now. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you where he's going to start out here. Is these machines about to get to kicking around this 2.5 mile circuit here. And we're trying to see if I can't get. Ryan said he is starting his PC now. So nonetheless, we're about to start the race now. And so he'll probably be joining me up here, which will be kind of awesome. Nonetheless, I tell you, as the pace car's about to take that hard left turn off of pit road, and these monster trucks are storming tonight. 100 laps here at the Burnty's Construction Monday Night Thunder. And then they storm off into turn number 1 right there. Your man out front. Let's get the true word of the man out front. That's going to be Corey Walters right there. He has got a nose to tail, as we're going to see these trucks are going to take it to the max tonight under the lights, folks. Door to door, wheeling and around here. Corey's got Blake right there all over his back deck lid. Blake Neese, that's the man right there on the back deck lid. David A. Levine, we know that man knows how to do it. He's looking on the inside, folks. I'll tell you, jockeying for position. These guys, I said it last night. Look, they're glued together. These guys are stuck together, hammered down. And I tell you, coming to lap number 1, who's going to lead this lap this time by? Is it going to be Corey? I'm going to tell you, the 18 nudges him out just a little bit. Blake leads that lap. Wow, what a heck of a start to a race here, folks, for the Monday Night Thunder. Birdie's Construction, by the way. Don't want to get that because that is actually now the title sponsor here for this race. So awesome, that they've got an actual title sponsor here. But nonetheless, guys, man, look at these trucks thunder down the back stretch here under the lights. Beautiful looking scene. What's going on, Michael? How you doing, man? Getting a late start here. But nonetheless, we got action happening on the track, and these guys don't care. We're in Florida, and they are putting it to the wind here. Maxing them out effort right here as they are nose to tail, wheel to wheel, flying around this track of this 2.5 mile circuit. And I tell you, this is what we have came accustomed to see at Monday night with some trucks here. Nonetheless, these guys are putting on a show right now. Your man out front, Blake, he has got his whole back deck lid closed up full of the man of David A. Levine, and he goes to the outside to try to pass there. Look at that. We're storming on the outside. We got Derek Proctor right there trying to look like he's going to move on the inside. David Levine is right there behind him in the 59 machine trying to push that man to the outside. I tell you, I want to appreciate all the viewers out there tonight. As always here, OSR Network Live, YouTube tonight. Joe White in the booth. Hey, I got Ryan W. Daniels supposed to be on his way. He's running a little behind, but that's okay. No biggie, no harm, no foul. Last minute decision here, and we got such a late start. He got off work, and he's going to come up over here in the booth and see this action here. Man, we could get out there and just yank that darn Chevy symbol right off the back end of the number 12 right there as we're riding along with Derek Proctor right there. He is pushing that man, and 3 wide to the lead. Holy cow, that might not end up well. They thought better of it there just a little bit. They hung out, but still 3 wide behind them. I tell you, you got one little slip, you're taking half the field out with you. Very respectful racing going on right here, but they are still 3 wide, 2 wide, and nose to tail up front, folks. This is what we have come to want to see. The action here at Monday Night Thunder Racing League. Man, these guys are putting on a show. Holy cow, still 3 wide locked together like glue up front. Man, I hear you, Michael, man. I tell you what, I appreciate all the viewers right there. As right now, the guy gets back in line, and the number 64, Derek does, fell back just a little bit. Look at these guys just stacked up. They have not buzzed an inch. Nobody told them that they're on lap number 5 of 100. They think, hey, look, we can win this thing on the next lap, the lap after that, or whatever. They are going for it just like a bunch of hotcakes, man. I'll tell you what, it is awesome up front as they are side by side. Definitely very respectful. And I tell you, the whole field, folks, you got to go all the way back to, wow, you got to go back further back into the 20s before it even breaks up, because they are 2 by 2 stacked up, storming down the backstretch here under the lights. Hey, Daytona, you got to love it. At night, yes, the lights, everything just gleams off of these trucks. I mean, it is just a terrific, awesome sight. And Sure, John. You still out there in the booth? You still out there in the John Wimbish? I just got your message, man. My bad. Anyways, tonight, boy, we are definitely storming around this track. These guys are putting on a hefty show nonetheless, flying around here. But, hey, I'm having fun up here in the booth. I didn't know I saw John. He might be actually racing now. I don't know what. Let's see if he's actually in the field. Because right now, your man out front, Corey Walters, he has definitely led. He's led a lot of laps, but he just got pushed to the outside. As now these guys are still 2x2, side by side, definitely going off here. And this is an awesome race happening. Man, that's awesome. I like that. That is awesome. Anyways, yep. Hey, what's up, John? I just got your message, and tell you what, after the race, my man, if you're still awake, I'll give you team speak info. We can talk. How's that? That is awesome, dude. That would be a dream. That would be a dream, man. That's what you're doing right there. So this right here, I'm having fun and having a dream doing it, anyways. Up here tonight, calling all this action for Monday Night Thunder, and dude, these guys are putting on a tremendous show out here. 2x2 stacked up. Definitely wheeling it around here. Daytona under the lights. We're heading up to lap number 10 of 100 and getting this show on the road here, folks. Daytona. It's been Daytona week all week long here at iracing, real racing, and everywhere racing. I tell you, Daytona has been packed, slammed, and these guys are packed, slammed, stacked up just like a bunch of dominoes. Just hope they don't fall like some dominoes, because you know what had happened? Yeah, catastrophe up front, definitely, man, would not be that good up front. So, nonetheless, as we're looking right here, we got a heck of a battle. Look at that, boy, to the side drafting they're doing. Corey Walters is the man up front trying to hold on. But, boy, I tell you, they are jockeying positions back and forth. The 18, Blake, he'll take it. The 12 will take it. I mean, where do we stand on the action here? These guys, I mean, they're stacked up so much, man. Hey, what's going on, Daryl? How are you, man? I tell you, like as always, definitely let me know how everything looks, how everything sounds. You know, don't know if everybody got any of the info today. I got some of the parts for my computer in, so definitely excited about that. But nonetheless, man, we are here tonight for the Birdsey Construction Monday Night Thunder, and I hope I am saying that right. If I am mispronouncing their title sponsor, they can come and shoot me, because I definitely apologize for that. I don't want that to happen. What's going on? Really want to join it? Well, you know, I've got about 4 different leagues there, Michael, you can join, and a lot of them are out there. We got obviously Monday Night Thunder here, and then we got ExtremeMotorsports99.com, Racing for a Cause. We got the T-Rex Grills Truck Series, and then Racing Freaks on Saturday, man. So definitely got a lot of things going here at OSR Network, and this is awesome. And you're right, Chris. Heck of a paint job's going out here. As now it looks like we got a breakaway up front with a 2-truck tandem happening. These guys are looking like they're going to take the field, but behind them, they're still stacked up 2 deep all the way back. Like we always say, you could throw a blanket over them, and you definitely wouldn't be able to hurt any of these guys. So, nonetheless, I don't think they're going to stay tandemed up front. As you can already see that high line. Now we're back to a stacked up formation, side by side, wheel to wheel, and door to door. This is what we have come to see. Look at the 98 power to the outside. That is Curtis Lowers. Is that right? Tell you what, let me look. Yep, Curtis Lowers. And, you know, I just want to go ahead and say it. These guys, I enjoy being here at all my leagues, because the guys at all the leagues, they work with me. I mess up some sounds, I mess up some voices and whatnot. So, nonetheless, yeah. All right, well, nonetheless, hey, tell you what, look at all this action right here. Now, if everyone out there will excuse me 1 minute, I, unfortunately, being up here by myself like I am, well, actually, Michael, that would be OSR network now. FMTV2 is gone on my end, so I broke off on my own. So, but anyways, I'm going to leave this action here with y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to be right back. But nonetheless, man, don't go anywhere because we got some awesome action happening right here. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined up here in the booth by Ryan W. Daniels, and he is actually logging in right now, so sorry about that. Had to take a quick break right fast. Obviously, when you're the only parent at home, you know, got to take care of the kids sometimes. So, nonetheless, we are still here. Got some awesome, exciting action going on, and whew, I had to run around, man. Now I don't sound like, man, I'm done a marathon, man. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. I tell you what, hey, we're having an awesome race right now with lap 17 of 100, and these guys have not come unglued from the top spot all the way back, Ryan. I mean, they here at Daytona, they are locked together, man, tighter than, man, a bunch of bolts.
Yeah, I'm loading into the session now. Hopefully I'll be able to see the action that you're calling here in just a moment, but until then, why don't you give me a brief rundown, if you could, of anything that I might have missed so far?
Well, right now they actually had they did what they call their heat races to get the qualifying order done, because there's so many trucks that came down here to Daytona to try to make this event here. And also, another update here from Monday Night Thunder is they have a sponsor for their Monday night. It's called the Birdsey's Construction as their new title sponsor here for Monday night. So it's the Birdsey Construction Monday Night Thunder series here. So what took us so long was it's the first time that they've experienced doing their heat races. So they did 2 heat races to get this field locked together for 38 trucks. Well, once they got their trucks here, then obviously they got them all lined up here. So right now, I mean, these guys are putting on what I like to call a clinic. I mean, they have not come unglued from the front and have been stacked 2 by 2 and nose to tail from the green flag on, and it's been awesome under the lights, Ryan.
Well, that sounds amazing. I'm still having the unfortunate experience of dealing with iRacing's loading simulator, so hopefully I'll be in there fairly shortly.
Oh, that's fine. I told everybody you were on the way, man, that you were just getting here and that we just got a later start. That, normally, it kind of worked out pretty good, I guess, for the later start. How does Ryan's volume sound out there, everyone? Does it sound okay and whatnot? But, well, we don't want to see no pile-ups. Now, come on, Chris. We saw a few of those last night.
Yeah, we saw a few of those in the 500 for sure. Your favorite part of the 500 was that pile up in turn 3 caused by some net code with Kyle Busch, I would say.
Yes, it was. Hey, what iRacing done went out there. They laser scanned the tracks. Heck, they laser scanned the air. They have got the net code part right.
Hashtag Joeisms.
I hear you. Well, right now, these guys are putting on some isms because, man, they are putting a hammer down and flying. Blake Neese and Curtis Lowers have put these two trucks up front, and it's like a stranglehold over the whole field, but it's definitely behind them. These guys, nobody told them it's lap 21, Ryan, of 100. These guys are fighting like it's the last lap.
Yeah, I'm finally in here. I'm finally able to see what you're seeing here. You are right. I just joined in. Blake Neese leading the field with that number 42. Is that the 42? Yeah, the 42.
18.
Of
42.
No,
Joseph.
behind him.
Oh,
yeah,
that's Joseph.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 18 of Blake Neese with the 42 of Joseph Stafford, giving him pushing on the bottom, and the 12 car of Corey Walters with the 59 of David A. Levine up on top, pushing him as well. And it looks like that top line is starting to prevail, Joe.
It is. I tell you what, earlier on I thought I was going to get a two-truck tandem, but as you see the one truck there, he drives down. Watch this, though. As soon as he drops down low there, Ryan, watch that high side come storming back and take it on there, and they'll go right back door to door again.
Yeah, it's side by side all the way through the field from what I can see, and only seeing a couple cars who are not on the lead lap from my lap counter here in iRacing. Everybody, aside from the trucks in 33rd, 34th, 35th, 36th, 37th, and 38th, or I'm sorry, just 37th. My apologies, misread that. But the trucks 33rd through 37th are the only ones that aren't with this lead group.
There he is, and they're storming down here to take lap number 23 of 100 tonight. Folks, under the light, Daytona International Speedway. This is the inaugural racing here for the Birdsey's Construction Monday Night Thunder Racing Series tonight, and these guys are putting on a show, folks. I tell you what, hey, it's a special thing tonight. Normally I'd be up here with the booth by myself, but I got Ryan W. Daniels up here with me. As always, enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure to be up here again. Excuse me. Pleasure to be up here again for the second week in a row. Had the opportunity to call these guys race last week with you, Joe, and what was their shootout event, basically, the series clash race, if you will. We saw some different drivers there than we're seeing here tonight so far, but as many different drivers as we're seeing some guys who are basically the same as I want to give a call real quick to the number 13 of Matt Huber, because if I'm not mistaken, he was the one that won that clash race.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what, that's why I put you in charge of all the statistics, man, because I'm getting old, and memory is just not one of the things on my best agenda. How's that?
Hey, that's fine by me. It's good to have some small talent.
I hear you, man. Nonetheless, well, I tell you what, these guys better just steal stuff together like glue. They are just not giving up here. It's like, man, they got a wrench and just Loctiting each other together. It is amazing to watch these trucks 2 by 2 stacked up like this. I mean, from lap after lap after lap. And you know, as a driver, Ryan, this is what it is. It's nerve-wracking.
Oh, right now, this is absolutely terrifying. Unless you're one of the front 2 trucks right now, or you're in a smaller group, like, for example, maybe the 89 of Spence Thompson, who's currently running 27th, there is no part of you that is saying, oh, okay, I'm going to be all right now. If you're anywhere 5th on back, you are panicking that at any moment, one of those cars to your right is going to accidentally touch you, you're going to get bumped, something is going to happen, and it is going to take you and a lot of other trucks out. And the further back you are, the worse that feeling is, unless you are intentionally trying to stay way far back from the rest of this main pack.
Well, you're right, and I'm looking back here at that pack in the 23rd with Spence Thompson, and they are 10 seconds off. It's like Bradley Wilson, Chris Baines, Spence Thompson, and David Richards. are all back there, and a couple other ones are all back there in a small little group just trying to run around. But I tell you, Ryan, the front whole, I mean, all 20 trucks are nothing but side by side, nose to tail, locked together like glue here at the front, and they are not giving an inch.
No, they're not. You know, and the thing is, too, what I'm noticing right now, Joe, a lot of smart driving. These guys aren't really pushing the issue. I haven't really seen a whole lot of guys bumping each other in the corners. They're giving a lot of space to the vehicles in front of them right now, just kind of using the draft, taking their time. But at the further and further we get into this race, that's not going to continue. You're going to have to get on that guy in front of you to try to make something happen. And at some point, one of these guys is going to make a move like that, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to take out a lot of people.
Well, let's hope that don't happen to the last lap of this race where, you know, everybody's here and we get to see an exciting finish, because nonetheless, these guys are putting on an exciting race so far. I mean, they are locked together like Loctite, man. It is just awesome up front and not giving an inch. It's almost like you can get up there and then it's like a brick wall just stops the truck. I mean, you can't go any further. You know, you've got it to the floor, Ryan, and you're sitting up there like, man, what else do I got to do? And the truck just won't go.
Well, it's kind of like how they describe it in real NASCAR, and that's how good iRacing simulation... Dang it, I'm sorry. That's how good iRacing simulation is now. Basically, the way they describe it is that there's a bubble of air between each vehicle. And if you can break into that bubble of air, you're going to be able to progress forward. But, oh, and we've got a big crash down the back straightaway.
Yes, we do.
And they're still wrecking.
Oh, man, I tell you, unfortunate right here. We're going to get a replay of it, but we was watching that one live as you was talking there, Ryan.
Yeah, and that was not pretty. It's kind of like what I was getting ready to say. At some point, someone's going to push the issue, and I think it's going to be pretty. That definitely was not pretty right there. And actually, I just was watching the back of the 50 truck of Waylon Lamb. He was slowing down, went to get to the gas on the banking, and actually spun that 50 truck. He's now stuck sideways on the track.
Oh, man, tough break. We're watching the replay. Looks like the 98 just lost up against the wall a little bit, came and just one of those, the real estate ran out on him. And like you said, man, huge wreck, a lot of cars, a lot of trucks there involved in that one. So, unfortunately, under caution for the first time. And, hey, my hat's off. Lap 29 of that, folks, because, man, I tell you, these guys were putting on a show, and we knew it, Ryan. We were watching them. They were just 2x2 stacked up very heavily.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, for all the trucks that are involved, again, it's very unfortunate, but there's just nothing you can do. And from what it looks like from my aerial perspective that I'm using, maybe the 98 was trying to push the back of the 12. The 64 just bumped the 98 a little bit. Now, there was a little bit of damage on the back of the 98. 98 might have just gotten a little loose. He got in the wall, and when he got up there and slowed down, the 64 just got into his left rear. Just nowhere for anybody else to go once the 98 got sideways.
Yeah, absolutely, and it can happen so fast here. Now the good thing is they do have a fast fix, so they can get that truck back in there, they can get it fixed up here. But nonetheless, time to go in for pit stops, get them 4 tires and some fuel.
Yeah, that is for sure. Another guy who's going to definitely be happy with this, with the caution, or not with the caution, with the fast fix here is the driver of that 72 car, Kenneth Younce. Clearly, he took a heck of a ride. If you watch it, he got bumped by the 34 there, just checking up, turned sideways, and hit the wall so hard that truck actually flew. He had a couple of trucks drive under him while he was in the air.
Oh, wow. Well, it's not a very good feeling to know that you're up in the air and you have no control. It's not like being in an airplane or anything. I mean, you're in that truck and you just know the impact's about to hit you. So you're like, holy cow, hang on for dear life.
Yeah, 1 minute the world is right, and then it's wrong, and then it's right again. But you know that when you come back down, that truck isn't right anymore. There's definitely something no longer good about anything that you're driving unless you can get it fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Watching right here, Chris Akers looks like he's going to come out in second spot. Very nice paint job on that truck. I really like that color scheme, and just kind of like how that fire paint job is on that 54 there. So just kind of looking here, man. I tell you, got any favorites out here tonight, Ryan?
I mean, I really got to look through the field. I haven't really seen, again, I'm not really used to all the drivers here. It's a lot of fun to be up here with you, and I appreciate the league here, the Monday Night Thunder League, allowing me to come up here and broadcast with you again for the second week in a row. Hopefully we can do this a bit more often. My schedule is just barely allowing me to make it here tonight, so we'll have to wait and see. But I gotta say, a
Keep
paint scheme that
starting late though, we'll be all right.
yeah, you guys start this time every week. I might just make it. I get out at 10 usually every Monday, so maybe we can get lucky. But honestly, if I'm looking at a car that I'm kind of partial to, it's probably the 12 car of Corey Walters, just because I really like that gold and black Haviland scheme. There's just something about it that's pretty cool to me. It just speaks to my style.
Absolutely, that is a nice looking paint job there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick my man I picked last night. That's Eric Tesh right there. Is going to start third spot, the number 96. I say it week in and week out. I watched that gentleman there, and I tell you, my hat's off to him because he's not from the U.S. He's actually across seas. He told me where he was at. And I apologize, I forgot again. I always say the U.K., but he goes, no, not U.K. I'm like, okay, but he's like 5 hours ahead of us. So we're sitting at almost 11 o'clock Eastern time. That poor man's probably got to be sitting at about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning where he is racing.
Yeah, that's some commitment right there for the driver of the number 96, Eric Tesh. I mean, I love racing and I love broadcasting, but if you texted me and said, hey, wake up, we got to broadcast at 2 in the morning, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'll let you handle this one.
It's about as late as I've actually done one on the East Coast, but nonetheless, that's fine. Hey, I mean, I'm up anyway, so hell, go figure. It's like I say, but it worked out well. Like I say, I was able to get up here, me and you both up in here, and this race is definitely going to be exciting. Now, good news. Might as well go ahead and tell everybody. Obviously, everybody knows the name change here. I know Michael out there said he enjoyed watching me and FMTV2, and I told him you might want to scratch the FMTV2 part because it's no longer there. It is now OSR Network. Check us out on YouTube, and actually that's where we're at live right now. Website will be up, onlinesimracingnetwork.com, as you saw there. So got the new logo out, Ryan. We got new things between me and you going to be happening. Obviously, the Monday Night Thunder. So on Sunday nights, folks, you're going to hear more Joe White and Ryan W. Daniels for the ARCA series. You heard it last night. So that was for the inaugural season. Last night's kicking it off. So on Sunday nights, you're going to hear me and Ryan do that. But also next season, well, you still hear us on the Thursday nights, but you're also going to hear us on Wednesday and Thursday at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. So we got a lot of things going to be happening. And I'm excited for it, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm absolutely pumped up for the future of OSR Network and everything that you and I are going to have the chance to work together with. And just to let everybody know, you all have heard my voice since me and Joe started. I believe our first broadcast together was December 1st of 2016. Mr. Joe White here has been gracious enough to send me a microphone, and hopefully soon I will have that set up and here at my home, and I will be able to sound like I don't have a lisp anymore, and y'all will be able to hear a bit more clearly my voice rather than this headset that I've been using for the past 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, don't let him lie to you. He still sounds the same.
No, I don't.
Well, nonetheless, we're about ready to go green flag racing again here for lap 33 of 100. That pace car is going to take that hard left turn off on pit road and send these monster trucks a storming here. We're going to get a good shot here coming across the line as it looks like Corey Walters is going to send these machines flying under the lights. Daytona, green flag in the air. They are stacked up again, Ryan, 2 by 2 as they come across the line.
Yes, they are. They're going to be 2 by 2 as well, all the way through the field, all the way to the back end. I'm actually watching from the 13 car of Matt Hoover on the chase view of his car. As we mentioned before, he won last week in their Clash version of this race. He knows how to win this race. Can he do it again here tonight when the points count?
Well, that's the question, and that's what's on everybody's mind here is definitely, hey, points matter tonight, and that's probably why we're seeing what it is. Last week, it was a shootout. Who brought the baddest, fastest machine down to Daytona International Speedway, and let's get it done. Now, tonight we're starting a 30-some week schedule here it's time to look who's going to be the first one to make it into the chase tonight and say, hey, look, I want to battle Spence Thompson and try to take that title away from him that he is holding so dearly. As of right now, Spence Thompson sitting in the 21st position.
Yeah, I do believe Spence Thompson is actually just playing it smart for now. He's employing what I like to now call the Ryan Daniels strategy. Hang out at the back, wait the whole race, and when the time is right, start working your way to the front. Hey, and it worked for me twice this week in iRacing's Daytona 500. It may just work for him tonight here in the Monday Night Thunder, did I have it right there? Monday Night Thunder week?
You're right.
Okay, I apologize. I'm still getting used to the name. My apologies, folks.
Well, I'm trying to get used to it because I got a title sponsor now, and I'm so used to saying Monday Night Thunder myself. But I have to, I see that they have it's a Birdsey Construction Monday Night Thunder Series Racing League now, so I'll have to get used to that myself. But nonetheless, these guys, hey, they're hoping after this race, well, some of them probably will, but a lot of them are hoping that they don't need a construction company to get these trucks, man, put back on the hauler and heading off down to the next race we got to go to next week. So they're hoping they can drive them in there, but nonetheless, right now, it looks like they're fanning out a little bit up top, but it's still a 2x2 affair.
Yeah, it is 2x2 most of the way through this field. We see some separate packs starting to make their way further back. Just kind of, you can definitely see the main pack, the guys whose philosophy is, hey, I want to be up near the front, just kind of work my way up to the lead if I can and try to avoid the wrecks that way. And then you definitely see the gap back to the next group that's just now coming off of turn 4. That group's obvious idea is that they want to avoid any wreck that might happen up in this main group, and that they will just bide their time and wait until the end of the race to make the move to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, we're riding along inside of some of these awesome trucks, just trying to get a view of what they looks like out the windshield of what they're seeing here as they're up against the back tailgates of a lot of the truck in front of them here. And we're used to seeing this view ourselves, Ryan, when we run our trucks on Tuesday, and nonetheless, these guys have been very patient up front right now. They know what's on the line. I mean, hey, we said it a minute ago, though, it's still nerve-wracking because the truck, it sucks up. Whoop, I tell you what, they get wiggly up front, but the truck sucks up there, and you just can't go anywhere. You've got the hammer to the floor, and you're like, man, come on, It's not like any other track where you can just pull away. This track it's mental sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, this track will absolutely rattle your nerves, and that is, just not something to take lightly. I can tell you from my experience this week, it ran, like I just said, a couple of those NIS Daytona 500s. I cannot even begin to tell people how absolutely nervous I was in the majority of that race, to the point of almost at one point feeling sick, just because I was so nervous that something was going to happen. You have to endure that for 100 laps. And when you're stuck in the middle of a group, that is so much worse than it is when you're way behind it or just ahead of it. Because if you're stuck in the middle, this is basically your thought process. All I can do is stay here, and what do I do if something happens?
Yeah, true. And I tell you, I've been in these, and a lot of times, and hats off, though, to you. You haven't said, but you did win one of those Daytona 500 races this week at iRacing that they've had. So congratulations on that. And like you said, you just got to be patient. And how you doing, Michelle, out there? Welcome, and welcome your friends, Melanie and Alex. What's going on? I tell you what, we're just riding along with a lot of these trucks, trying to see what they're seeing out their windshield here, riding along on the roll cam here. I mean, I'm just fanning through the field, Ryan, right now, just showing off some of the action that's going on. Looks like there's maybe the group up front is 2x2, but then you got a little bit of group back there that are off and on. Now, I'm riding along with Waylon Lamb, and I'm hearing, I'm getting a little keen ear here. I can hear him stepping off that throttle every once in a while, so that's been very patient on his end.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And what he's really doing there, what Waylon is doing, when he's taking it easy like that, because obviously he's at the end of the main pack. That's the group that's in front of him, is the lead pack. Right where Waylon is, being the last car in line, these trucks suck up to each other really, really well. He doesn't have to stay full throttle to try to keep up with that single car truck when they're this close to the back of the main field. So what Waylon's doing when he's letting off the throttle is he's actually keeping himself away from that truck in front of him while also at the same time trying to save some fuel so that when it is that they have to come to that final pit stop, or whenever they have to stop, if they have to stop at all, if he goes to fill that truck with gas, it's not going to take him as long as it will maybe the leader, who is clearly going to burn a lot more fuel than he is because he's having to keep it to the floor this entire time, while Waylon is able to actually lift maybe 3/4 to half throttle almost the entire lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, you have to go back all the way to the 17th, actually 18th spot, excuse me, to where you don't get away from the front pack, and there's just a little bit of pack running back here. Kenneth Yance, Curtis Lowers, Tyler Justice, Dennis Ellis, Joseph Stafford, and Christopher Matthews. All of those guys are locked up nose to tail trying to form a line, and it might be by design there, Ryan, as we're talking here, just looking. I tell you, we're lap 41, so you got a whole group of trucks up there up front, a whole 17 of them that are just locked up in a huge pack, and then you got the pack behind them. So a lot of patience being brought out, but I tell you what, nobody told the guys up front and got that memo, because they're like, hey, we're going for it.
Well, I mean, it's like we were mentioning before, the space between these trucks, but all it took was like one small slip up by that 98 to cause a big crash, and they didn't even hardly do anything wrong at that point. That was just circumstances. It's the same thing now. These guys are still just as equally far apart. They've already had a big crash, so now these guys, you actually see them more settled down now, with it only being about 15 cars in the lead pack as opposed to the 24 that there were before. You know, and I think these guys right now are actually taking it even a bit easier than they were before. But again, we're coming to halfway here in just a number of laps. And this is the way that, you know, you mentioned it. I did get lucky enough, and strategy helped me out, and maybe even a smidgen of skill helped me win that race last night in the NIS Daytona 500 in the Division 10 class. You know, it was a lot of me trying to save fuel and just be smart. And that's what a lot of these guys are doing now, is that, you know, once it gets to 50 to go, kind of like what I did last night, is I turned up the wick. That was my decision to start trying to, okay, no more riding at the back. Now I have to try to keep up with the leaders. I have to at least do that. And I think that's what some of these guys are going to have to do, especially if you're as far back as that second group is.
Well, absolutely, and I agree with you on that one. This group up front right now being very patient in what they're doing, but they are still staying locked together like glue up there, as we're seeing a heck of a battle for the lead, a heck of a battle for second. I mean, it's really just a whole battle all the way back to like the 15th spot, or yeah, about all the way back to 15th almost.
Yeah, it's basically side by side. I'm riding alongside, like I said, with the 50 of Waylon Lamb. He's in the 16th spot, and there are 3 trucks in front of him, so that tells me currently that the entire top 11 is at least all side by side. And these 3 trucks that are sort of single file just behind them are not too far behind.
Did you fall asleep in the middle of a sentence, man?
No, it's cool. I worked for like 12 hours today. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hey, that's what I was about to say.
I did everything I could to finish my sentence.
Well, I told Brad and him earlier, I said, man, we're getting such a late start. Hey, also let me know I adjusted my volume a little bit, make sure I'm still sounding okay out there, guys. But I told Brad, I said, we're getting such a late start. I hope none of these drivers out here fall asleep while they're driving. But, man, that's another thing. If this was any other track, that might actually be true. But this track here, you definitely are going to be awake, because one slip, like you said, and you're done.
Yeah, you have to be alert 110% of the time. You start feeling drowsy or something like that here, you're going to like go from, oh, gee, I'm feeling tired. And the next thing you're going to be saying is, oh, my God, and there's going to be a truck through your windshield. So, I mean, it's not going to be pretty if somebody does start getting a little bit tired like me up near the front of this field.
Yeah, well, no doubt. Oh, man, I tell you what, a heck of a move up there in the front. Truck got very wiggly. I'm trying to get the number right there. That's the number 31 there. Boy, he did a heck of a job to hang on there. He's got a My Mammoth on the back of it, and I tell you, he looked like a mammoth doing it. That truck is very, That's another thing we haven't really talked too much about here, Ryan, is the handling of these trucks. They don't look too bad, but they can be ill handling at times behind somebody.
Yes, they can. They can get very loose in the draft. They have a tendency to get like that as the tires wear. And the problem is that here at Daytona, especially, with such the high speeds, you do. The car, as the tires wear, will get tighter and tighter. But after it continues to get tight like that, every time it's tight in the corners and you come off, it starts to get a little bit looser. And when you're in the draft, it tends to become unpredictable with all of the aerodynamic effects of all the other trucks around you. So you're constantly fighting it being tight, and then in certain moments it can just snap loose. And that's kind of what you'll see sometimes with some of these accidents, is that one guy will have just suddenly gone from being super tight to super loose, and there was no time for him to react.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, normally in the past, like you were talking about that right there, Ryan, is we would see these cars, and actually we saw it last night, and I saw it in the ARCA series, is those cars were bouncing around like a bunch of jumping bees. But tonight, these trucks are like they're planted pretty stable there. So I don't know if that's something that iRacing has done or just a product of how well the track is out here tonight under the lights at Daytona. But they don't look as ill handling or moving around as you see a little bit of it, but that might be a test to, hey, I'm a little bit close to the guy, I'm trying to get some air in that fender. But normally we see these guys, boy, they're fighting those things.
Yeah, a lot of when you'll see a lot more of the fighting in the car is actually during the daytime, because the track is so hot. Here tonight, the track is actually pretty cool, so I'm thinking that's contributing to the handling of these trucks. They're handling really good, which is why they're able to stay side by side so closely without so much having to worry about somebody necessarily getting suddenly loose in front of them. But obviously, like you say, you're still seeing a lot of these trucks wiggle around, and a lot of what that is like you said, you're tucked up behind these guys all the time. There's only about, a foot wide gap for the radiator to get some air. Oh, and we have a caution out. I'm going to try to see what happened.
All right, yeah, try to get us a real quick on who did that right there. Running a caution for the second time. Lap 49 of 100, so I got to give my hats off to these guys. They've done quite very well out here. Had to happen in that backpack somewhere there, Ryan.
It was the 98 and the 18 coming on into the tri-oval.
Ooh, yeah, he's smoking bad.
Coming into the tri-oval on lap 48.
Yeah, 98 smoking bad here, so let's get it back here on the replay cam here and see what happens if we can't get him. Oh, yep. Well, we get the tail end of it a little bit there, and it kind of blinks in, blinks out. That's the unfortunate part about iRacing sometimes, is if you don't catch it in time with such a big field, it'll you get a bunch of blinkers.
Yeah, I don't know what it's allowing you to see, but from what I'm seeing here is it looks like the 98 going into the tri-oval where the start-finish line is just kind of drifted up, was trying to didn't anticipate the 18, like just kind of, it looks like the 98 kind of came up to the 18's lane, tapped him in the left rear quarter, spun the 18, they get together. And as the 98's coming down the track, the 18 tries to save it again. They hit each other again, come back across the track, and they both hit the wall head-on very hard.
Well, I tell you what, caution for the second time tonight. Let's get a quick summary here. Lap 49, actually, let me lap 50 here of 100. We've 2 cautions, 22 lead changes, though. Wow, that's textbook Daytona right there, Ryan.
Yeah, 22 lead changes in only, how many laps did you just say?
50.
22 lead changes in 50 laps. That's just under, basically, a lead change every other lap at this point.
Yeah, and that attests to the fact of how they were locked together up front. I mean, side by side, just back and forth. I mean, that takes you back to the old days of the drafting that they would do here, that would see, 30, 40 lead changes in a race.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely insane how crazy, the types of records that we've seen at these restricted plate races and actual racing, and even here on iRacing for lead changes in a race. And I would dare say that tonight, thus far, is on pace to set some kind of a record for this league, I would say. Yeah,
I'm not sure. Something I might need to check into with Bradley Wilson and them, try to get the an idea of what the actual record or anything, lead changes or whatnot, but yeah, we're definitely on pace for that one, Ryan. I mean, these guys are, I like to use it putting on a clinic here. I want to appreciate all the viewers out here sticking with us late at night, and that's what I'm going to say. Heck, we're up late tonight doing some racing on iRacing here for the Birdsey's Construction Monday Night Thunder Series. They're kicking off the season here, and we got a long season of 32 races here. They've got a heck of a hunt and chase format set up towards the end of the season. So, you know, hey, Ryan might not be able to be here with me every week on Monday night. Now, I know he's going to be here on Sunday nights with me, but he'll probably be in and out. And but nonetheless, I'll be here week in and week out, you know, all the way up to November, and definitely calling this action, as these guys are going to put on some heck of a show week in and week out.
They definitely are, and I actually was wondering, Joe, if I might be able to use this time to let the fans know something cool that I'm actually going to attempt, and I might need your help with it if I'm not, if I'm honest.
Uh-oh, I don't know, depending on what it is, man. What you got?
Well, I'm wondering if at some point you can kind of teach me maybe how to do some live streaming with not necessarily a broadcast, just how to get my screen if I was trying to record my perspective of a race, streamed maybe to here on YouTube or on Twitch or something like that. And if I can do that, as of just 10 minutes ago, while we were sitting here talking, I was messaging Justin Richter, the gentleman who some of you guys might know, who has worked with Joe worked with Joe for the FMTV Daytona 500 about a month ago now. He was my crew chief last night for the Daytona 500, and I have decided, with his help and with the help of my teammate at Iceman Motorsports, Aiden Young, to pursue the Division 10 NIS Series Championship. So they are going to be working with me each and every week to try to bring home that, and I would love the opportunity to be able to live stream my perspective of those races and bring it to all the fans who support us over here at the OSR Network.
Yeah, heck yeah, that would be awesome. I tell you what, it's something exciting. I've never been much on the NIS stuff. I know a lot of guys love that. I ran one, and which, you know, I'm not a big fan of restrictor plates anyways, because, you know me, I call it a no skill track, man. It's just hang on for dear life and pray you don't get clobbered by somebody. That's just, I mean, and usually that's what happens to me. I always get, you know, bam, next thing I know I'm in a wall. So, but nonetheless, that would be cool to do, and we'll see what we can do to get you straightened up and worked out there. But you know, yeah, that's a handful, you know, because you got a lot of tracks that are going to be very tough.
Oh, I never said it was going to be easy, and I'm not anticipating it's going to go well at all for me because of my past experience driving a Cup car over the Extreme Motorsports 99.com series last season. But hey, you know, I figure if I'm ever going to get any better, I might as well surround myself with guys who can help me. You know, I know Aiden knows how to get around in the Cup car, and me and Justin worked really well together. He called the right strategy to get me in the right place at the right time to win that race, and if it weren't for him helping me out, I don't think it would have been possible. So definitely excited, and hopefully I'll be able to do it again this week at Atlanta and try to bring home as good a finish as I can and try to keep the Division 10 points lead that I'm currently holding right now.
Oh, absolutely. That's awesome right there. I tell you what, lights on pace car. They're on the back stretch, though, right now. But, yeah, we were talking about that Atlanta and NIS there, and I said, you know what? Actually, I'm in a Division 8. If I can wheel it around schedule-wise, it would have to be probably the Saturdays before I could do it. I've thought about running it, so we'll see what happens.
Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe you and I will go to the same race at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, so pace cars heading into turn 3 here, folks. Ascend, these monster trucks are flying on lap number 54 here. It's going to be this time by of 100. Bradley P. Wilson. Now, Bradley wasn't supposed to run tonight, but he is actually running a tribute car truck out there for Cody West, who actually found a new job. So right now he's doing very well in that number 38 machine, as he is about to set sail here and get these guys a roaring again. Lap 54, pace car is going to take the hard left turn on pit road. Send these monster trucks here across the line. Green flag in the air, Ryan. As man, I'm going to tell you, these guys are storming the turn number 1.
Yes, they are. They got that 38 truck of Bradley Wilson out in front, and the 82 of Chris Baines. Looks like he's going to try to get that push from the 96 of Eric Tesh on the outside. Going to try to make that pass when they come off a turn 2 using that restart momentum up top. But as of right now, the 38 of Bradley is holding the inside pretty well as they're trying to get it sorted out the back of the pack. The guys who still want to ride back there are still trying to take it easy, and the guys who have decided, hey, we're past halfway, let's try to get up to the front, as the 82 is actually going to make that pass in front of the 38.
Yeah, he is. The 82 drops down. That would be Chris Baines. I'm going to tell you what, those guys up there know each other very well. They ran all last season together. Chris Baines, Bradley P. Wilson, Spence Thompson, Eric Tesh, every one of those guys was all the way through the inaugural season, or the inaugural actual league season for the Monday Night Thunder here, which is now the Berksey Construction Monday Night Thunder here. But nonetheless, my man, I got to pick the 96, trying to storm that outside lane and get it back up front. Chris Baines is going to have none of it, as he has the man behind him there, like you said, Bradley P. Wilson.
Yeah, that inside line definitely looking like it's a place to be on this restart right now. I don't know if it's just that the 96 isn't really able to pull the line very well, or if he doesn't just have enough help and push behind him to make it work. But as I'm saying, the 96 is actually going to get a run as they go to turn 3. They might have the momentum as they come off before. The 96 might be able to make a challenge for that lead by the time they get to turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, he is. He got a good side draft there off of Bradley as he went down at the turn, and they went down the back stretch. They're coming to the line this time by for lap 56 of 100. We're past halfway, folks, here at tonight at the Monday Night Series here at the Trucks. It's their inaugural race tonight. This is 4 points. They did 2 heat races. They had 2 different lobbies going on before this race, Ryan, and they had the heat races to see who was going to make the final show. That's how many trucks they had come down here at Daytona. So it's almost like a real event. You come down here, you hope to make the show, and that's what's happening. So we got a heck of a battle going on for the lead.
Yeah, we do, and I don't know what the 82 was thinking. He's going to get himself hung in the middle, and he'll be lucky to fall back in line on the bottom here. It looks like he's going to get the room to do it, but he's just not taking it. He's so lucky he did not get caught in the middle there. That could have been hazardous for everybody.
Yeah, it was. They went 3 wide there for so forth. You're right. He got lucky there for a minute that the door opened up. And, man, spin.
Yeah, and he's going to come back across the track, and that's half the field. That's a pile up in turn 1 if I've ever seen one.
Well, I tell you, you're right. We saw that one live, and we saw what happened. Eric Tesh dove down on the inside. Actually, let's just go back to the replay here, because we were watching it live. Eric Tesh dove down on the inside, and the man behind him tried to go, and the door just closed up on him when he tried to go and follow the 96, and then just basically just got clipped. I mean, that's really, right, that's what happened. He came down and nowhere to go, and man, I tell you what, the 89, or the 38, excuse me, Bradley Wilson came back up on the track, and we were talking about this, Ryan, for some reason, and we don't understand. I guess it's a physics thing, but it seems like for some reason, you said it, that these trucks want to come back, and even cars want to come back up the track when they wreck. Why? You would think, like you said, with this high banking, is they would go back down the track.
Yeah, I did say that, and I haven't actually been able to look up a reason for it. It does have something to do with physics, as you said, and maybe somebody in the chat can actually explain it to me. But I mentioned this actually, I don't remember when I was racing or when we were watching the Daytona 500 together the other day, but I said you're right. It's always interesting for me to watch these races and see it. These cars spin down the banking, but it's kind of like what they say, what goes down must come up at Daytona rather than what goes up must come down, because these guys get to the apron, and then for some reason, even if they're not turned in that direction, their trucks will just shoot right back up across the track.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite opposite for like tracks like Bristol and all. They always say, as the wrecks stay high, it's going to wash. It's kind of a self-washing style track. Here at Daytona, it doesn't seem like that, even though they have high bankings. It seems like, you would think, well, man, I'm going to stay high. But the next thing you know, you got a car or truck up there in your windshield trying to wipe that thing off for you. So you just don't know what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy, too, because it's just, you don't expect it. You don't at all. And it's not, there's nothing you can do when that happens. And to go back to what we were saying earlier, the fear that some of these guys have when they're racing like this, that's the reason. You can run on the top and you can run on the bottom all you want. but it doesn't mean anything because if there's a crash, you literally have nowhere to go. You know for a fact that some trucks are going to come up and some are going to spin down, and 9 times out of 10, they're 2 trucks at minimum are doing the opposite at the exact same time, and that's when you see these big wrecks. There's just nowhere to go for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, and I want to appreciate all the viewers out there. We're here tonight, Birchie Construction Monday Night Thunder Series here for their inaugural truck series, kicking off the season here. We got a long season. Nonetheless, though, these guys here at Daytona International Speedway under the lights, folks. 100 laps. We're at lap number 59. Probably by the time we go back, green flag is going to be about lap, I'm going to say 62 or so, maybe 63 by the time we hit the green flag. And we're definitely over halfway, Ryan. And it's been nothing short of exciting.
It certainly has, and I do want to give a shout right now. I was actually about to mention it before the caution, like just as the caution was coming out, I had noticed it. Spence Thompson, who early in this race was running out back. He's now currently set it in the 27th spot. I don't know if my iracing is updated yet, but I have him listed in the 27th spot. Before that caution, he was like the 3rd or 4th truck on the inside lane. He was all the way back in 27th, 28th. Before the previous caution, he worked that 89 truck up to the front, so it's definitely, you're starting to see it. The guys who, as I mentioned before, the idea of going to run at the back at the beginning, but work my way to the front and halfway, Spence Thompson definitely appears to have that plan.
Well, I tell you what, John Wimbish, and I hope I said that last name right out there. He is out there, and he's kind of gave us an explanation on that. He said, let me read that off again here, since we're still on, the lights are still on. The speed and momentum you carry into the turns makes you basically wreck straight, which would probably make sense, and if you're wrecking straight, it's going to bring you up. Now, let me give you a little background, because I got a message from old John himself, and it's kind of interesting. Ryan, you would be interested in this too. Good that you're here. He says, I worked for ESPN Radio when I was in Martinsville, Virginia, and called football, basketball, and baseball games, and I occasionally would do a local race or two. So we actually have a guy out there that actually has called real racing here, and that is always awesome. And now that I've made you nervous all race long, Ryan, so since that we've got a so-called, I guess, a race or calling celebrity out here in the chat, looking at us and listening to us, but he definitely can give us some insights on what he feels, how these things work and whatnot. Because even though we are looking at a simulator, it's the closest thing to realistic as we're going to get. And what we're talking about, Ryan, we actually see in real life. The cars and trucks still do the same thing. So a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can use the example from the Daytona 500 to exactly, to go over what we're talking about. When Kyle Busch had his spin, by all intents and purposes, and I have to agree that must be the case, that you're basically wrecking straight, so your momentum is bringing you up. His left rear tire went flat, and Kyle doesn't, slide down the racetrack in the corner. He went straight into the wall and took out 4 more cars with him, which, ladies and gentlemen, I might add, was Joe White's favorite part of the Daytona 500. I've never heard Joe White scream and cheer aside from when Kyle Busch went sideways and Joe was like, "Yes!" ha 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 ha, watching it on TV. And I was like, that is hilarious.
Yep. Well, I was you were right, Ryan. That I love seeing that. And then the first thing that popped in my mind was, that was awesome net code.
Yeah, I can't even begin to tell you how many people on Facebook after that, from all our iRacing friends and stuff like that I saw put that same thing. Cody Tabor had me cracking up just with what he wrote. He goes, "Man, Kyle Busch doesn't like it when he gets wrecked. He's going to be really mad when he finds out that netcode ruined his Daytona 500 for him."
Absolutely. I tell you what, if he gets up here, what's he going to do? Blame the tires, man, on iRacing? I mean, nonetheless. Well, anyways, that was a good one. I like that. But we're about set to send these machines a-flying. Hopefully nobody out here loses their tire. It's because it has been a thriller so far, folks. It's going by pretty quick because we're only sitting at, what is the third caution here? I'll have to do a summary here in just a second, but nonetheless, pace cars coming out of turn number 4, and I like to say going to take that hard left turn off of pit road, and it's going to send these monster trucks flying around this track here, 2.5 miles worth of speedway, folks, here as we're getting set to go green flag racing for lap number 62. Green flag in the air, and I'll tell you what, Matt Hoover takes these trucks and storming into turn 1.
Yes, he does. I'm riding on board right now with the number 89 car of Spence Thompson on this restart, who is stuck in 15th position on the inside line, and that 89 truck. I don't know what sponsor he's on for you, Joe, but I have a generic iracing sponsor, so I don't want to make any announcement as to what that truck looks like. But
what number again?
89 Spence Thompson.
89 Spence. Let me go back to him a second.
He is in 15th right now.
I am showing him in an AC Delco.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you call that then, because all I'm seeing is the generic iRacing paint scheme that he has on there. But regardless of that fact, we mentioned it just before the caution. I said how Spence was working his way up to the front. He's definitely looking to do it again. I believe he came under that last under that last caution, probably took to 4 tires and fuel. Got that 89 truck ready to roll, and the past champion looking to repeat this year. He wants this win at Daytona, and he's starting to put himself in position to try to make a run at it.
Well, he is right now, like you say, Spence Thompson, though, man, is a man out front, nonetheless, here, as he is sitting in, like we said, in 15th spot. So, right now, these guys have been very patient, trying to look, but they are jockeying 2x2 up front here, and looking very good doing it. So, I don't know. I mean, Ryan, we got a long way to go, lap 63 of 100. I mean, I know some people are like, well, man, that's not a long way to go, Joe. Hey, wait a minute. But it is. I mean, it's Daytona. It's 2.5 miles around this track. Looks like a minute to get around here.
It's not even so much the distance at this track necessarily either that lends itself to being a long time left. It's nerve-wracking, like we've already mentioned, to do this for the amount of time that these guys already have at 65 laps. So the further and further we get into this race, that intensity, that nervousness is going to continue to ramp up. And at some point here, some of these guys are going to hit their boiling point, and that's when you'll see a late race crash. It's just somebody maybe, saw somebody wiggle in front of him, maybe he panicked just a touch because his nerves are killing him, and he just gets tagged. And that will be, the end of his race and many others. And you're going to go from being so nervous that you could just, want to curl up in the fetal position to angrier than a swarm of hornets at whoever it is that got into you. But in all reality, it doesn't matter, because at that point it's over for you. And, some of these guys might have that issue, but we haven't seen it yet. And but I certainly believe we will at the end of this race. So there's going to be some tensions that may run a little bit high.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, right now they're still stacked up 2x2 and nose to tail, and they're not giving an inch up front as we're heading for lap number 66 of 100. I got to ask, since we do got John out here in the chat, don't say anything, Ryan, but I want to ask straight off, because I get this all the time. John, I want your personal opinion. Who do I sound like up here commentating like? Let's see what he comes up with.
If he says who I think he's going to say, or that I hope he's going to say, I'm going to drop my mic and walk away.
Well, we'll see here, but nonetheless, these guys are still stacked up, Ryan, putting on a heavy metal show up front here, storming to lap 67, and I tell you, man, these guys are coming thundering down the back stretch here, looking very good under the lights. As the lights just reflect off these trucks, they look very good doing it.
Yeah, these guys are just, it's so impressive to see. I'm still riding in the back, about mid-pack here, riding on the side of the 33 car, trying to watch from his fender cam just to get a good glimpse of all the movement around that maybe he's doing and some of these other guys are doing. And these guys, you're starting to see it. They're wiggling a little bit more and a little bit more. And what I was trying to mention earlier before the crash that we had was that 1 foot gap in the grill that these guys have. These engines at some point are going to get hot from somebody pushing. That's why you see these guys wiggling the way they are. They're trying to get the nose of that truck out to clean air where there's not another truck in front of them, so that they can cool their engine off and keep pushing. But the later you get in this race, at some point, the guy who's maybe in second or second in line, he's going to want to try to win this race. And the only way he's going to be able to do it if they're stuck side by side is to put that nose of that truck right to the bumper of the one in front of him and just hold it wide open for as long and as hard as he can. And at that point, it's either you're going to be able to push that truck that you're pushing past the outside line and you're going to be able to move up, or you are going to blow your engine and it's going to be the end of your night, and it might just cause a big crash for everybody behind you.
Well, I tell you, you're right, 100% right here, and that's another thing. And John out there, not the answer I was well expecting.
I think that might be funnier, but it's not exactly what I was expecting either.
I have never heard anybody say that I sound like that, but I guess a good compliment nonetheless. That's awesome. So, well, let's try again. How's that? But anyways,
round two.
Yeah, round two. There you go. But right now, these guys are putting on a heck of a show out here as they're heading off in this lap number 69 of 100. They are stacked up deep in the field, folks, for Daytona International Speed Weeks here for the Burnties Construction Monday Night Thunder Racing League with the trucks here tonight. These guys, nobody told them up front, man, that it's only lap 69. They're going to it as like it's lap 100, and it's the last one because they are not giving an inch, Ryan.
No, they're not. At least the front two cars are. We're seeing a little bit of distance for some of the vehicles behind these front. I am not. I am actually sucking on a piece of ice. Thank you.
Oh, Lord.
I was saying the top 8 trucks are all nose to tail, but the other ones behind them are a little bit spread out.
Yeah, I see that, but I mean the top trucks right there, and I'm kind of looking at the gaps here. I actually got to go back all the way to 11, 12, and Spence Thompson's been able to pull back up to the 11th spot there, and looking very good at doing it. But I mean, these guys are just stacked up and wheeling these machines around here. This is a heck of a daggum show and an awesome type of a race so far.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic race. As we actually have a truck that looks like it just blew up on the apron up ahead, and a group of lap cars that these leaders are going to start to catch up to very quickly. I'm trying to get an idea of who that truck was on the bottom there. It was a blue and white vehicle.
Oh,
I didn't catch the number.
Don't know if that's going to bring out a caution or not, but he just spun. We'll help you out, John, a little bit. I've been told many a times that I take cues from some of the other radio guys from down south. How's that? That should help you out. Yeah, Chris Light sounds like the one and only Joe White. There you go. Well, that definitely is. But man, I tell you what, they are fanned out now up front. They are catching lap cars. Are we under green flag pit stops, Ryan?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anybody come in. That was a fairly large group of vehicles there that they went by, but I'm wondering maybe did a couple trucks get together and spin out or something, and did people let up, and that's why that group of 4 was like that? Or I'm not really sure because they didn't appear to have too much damage as though they would be off the pace.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, the whole pack came storming by them like they were sitting still. And they've got split up here, but it looks like it's way back in the 25th position there with Dennis Ellis as the first one a lap down. So definitely something must have happened back there as we got some action up front as the cars, looks like a lap car is being passed on the outside.
Yes, he is. The 22 gave them plenty of room. Very respectable move. Gave the leaders the lane. Ran right up above that white dotted line up at the top of the track, and we continue to see movement, and a lot of these guys starting to push their way closer and closer to the front. The guys I've been watching here slowly picking their way through the field here as it gets later in the race. I keep mentioning their names, or I keep mentioning this name, Spence Thompson, that 89 truck, running really, really well. Kind of like a Mr. Where did he come from circumstance right now. Was right at the back early this race, slowly getting there, and he's getting help from Mike T. Bruno in that number 19 car, who's been pretty close behind him the majority of the way up through this field.
Yeah, he is right now. Spence Thompson's up in 9th spot as he's coming up here. I'm going to tell you what, since these guys are formed up and at a double file up front, Ryan, let's do what we love to do right now. Let's bring up the speed cam here and let these people out there in the crowd and in the viewership there watching this awesome, exciting. Well, wait a minute. We got a wreck first.
Wow!
Oh, that's a big one.
It is, but I certainly hope you're going to be able to get back and see the move by the 89 truck through that. That was impressive.
Well, I'm going to rewind it right back here just real quick so we get a hold of that one. And look, man, that one started up front and it ended in the back.
Yeah, it did. That pretty much started on entry to 3, and it didn't settle itself all the way to the end of the corner.
Hold on just a second. We're watching the replay here. Looks like the lap car. Oh, he got on the apron. That's what happened, Ryan. That truck stepped on the apron. We haven't really talked much about that. Haven't seen it. And I'm watching to see what you're talking about here with that 89. Seeing if I see him coming to the picture here very soon. Yeah, here comes the pack. Oh, yeah, he got by it. Man, I tell you what, that whole pack was coming storming around the turn. And all they saw when they come around the turn was a bunch of trucks sitting in the middle of the track.
Yeah, they did. That 89 truck was right in the middle of it. He was able to pierce his way straight through the middle of it. Thankfully, just before some of those guys cut up, he was right in front of the 19 of Mike Bruno. Mike Bruno actually gives the 89 a bump, sends him in the middle, and if not for that bump, Spence Thompson would be done for the night, I dare say.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's another thing we haven't talked about. We talked about, bump drafting and side drafting and everything else. We have not talked about touching that apron because I tell you what, if you touch that apron here at Daytona, it's going to upset a car or truck or whatnot. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to bring that thing back to La La Land, so to speak. It's because you're going to go and be going, hey, I'm hanging on for dear life at that point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, these trucks will get unstable if they get hit. That is for certain. And you see that. That's kind of why when we see all these cars wiggling around like that, it even makes us nervous up here in the booth because we understand, you and I, Joe, we race these trucks. We know what that feels like to have a truck wiggling around behind you, and that brief moment that he just happens to get a run while he's trying to get himself some air or something, that might be the moment that you get hooked and turned, and that'll be the end of your race as well.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you right now. No taker so far to go on pit road. That's kind of unique at lap 75 of 100. You would think that somebody out here, because if it goes green flag the rest of the way, you're going to have a green flag pit stop here nonetheless. But let's get a quick summary right here as we're on lap 74 of 100. We have had four cautions, but I'm going to tell you what, Ryan, this is an impressive number. 30 lead changes. Wow.
Yeah, 30 lead changes in just about 75 laps is insane, especially considering, these guys are in a truck division. And I want to make this, perfectly clear to people. Lead changes aren't when a truck passes each other down the back straightaway and stuff like that. These are lead changes at the start-finish line. So there are 30 different times tonight there's been a different leader at the start-finish line in 75 laps.
Well, John, I don't compare myself to the man, the myth, and I say the all-time great. I've had people say that I have sounded like that, and it's a great honor that people would actually pull that off. But yes, a lot of people have said I sound like Barney Hall. Now, I've never had anybody say I sound like Matthew McConaughey, like Michelle said up there. That's a first, definitely. But you're right, John. I have had a couple people say it, and nonetheless, that man was one of the greatest on the mics, the voice of NASCAR, and I hate to see the passing, but man, for many years, put on a heck of a show. And it's not that I try to do that. It's just for some reason when I started doing it, I got up here and I started racing, and the next day I know people said, man, sounds like an MRN broadcast up there you're doing and whatnot. So I guess along with the Joe-isms and everything, it is quite an honor to hear it. But I wanted to see if you could catch it since you've been in the business and whatnot, because it's something that I love. And actually, Ryan loves being up here with me. So we're going to give you round 3 here, and let me know what you think Ryan sounds like when he's up here calling the races and whatnot.
I don't want him to know what I sound like when I'm up here because, I don't mind the person that people are comparing me to, but I sound like crap with this mic. I really hate it. You guys, I'll be honest, I love being up here broadcasting. I can't stand to hear and watch the streams back. I do it every week, but I cannot stand to watch them back and listen to myself talk.
Well, absolutely. And I tell you what, it is a great honor to be up here. And I enjoy you being up here with me. I enjoy all the fans, nonetheless, because we love doing this here. This is definitely a fun thing to do. I enjoy it, and not a lot of people get to do it. And I didn't think I had the talent to do it up here. I gotta, definitely get some cues there for Rick Donathan himself, who kind of pushed me to get me up here to do this thing and gave me a lot of confidence. And then I kind of just, boom, just kind of took off afterwards. And it's a thanks to all the viewers out there and all the leagues too, the owners and the drivers, man, for following us and enjoying every minute of it. So it is fun to do, Ryan. And John said you sound like Joey Logano.
That's worse than the other one. I hate Joey Logano, and he's from where I live.
Well, Michael said he sounds like Keselowski, so at least he got the team right, nonetheless. But
no, everyone says I sound like Brad Keselowski. Michael's got it right. I cannot believe you said I sound like Joey Logano, because the day I sound like some whiny kid that throws bottles at people is the day I jump off a bridge.
Hey, 22, man, it's good. What's wrong with you? I might kick you out my. What's up? Come on now.
Oh yeah, I forgot, ladies and gentlemen. Joe is a Joey Logano fan, so bear in mind that he doesn't like anybody else that doesn't like Joey Logano.
Man, I tell you what, hey, we're about ready to stack. Hey, that's the real side of things, but we're about ready to get back to green flag racing here. Lap 78 of 100. Then right now, Tyler Justice is going to set these monster trucks storming off into turn number 1 as the green flag is about to take flight here again. Lap 78 of 100, Ryan, under the lights at Daytona International Speedway. I'll tell you what, maybe we'll get that speed cam cranking up here in a minute. Let's get these trucks up to power first, though.
Yeah, and we're seeing some different guys up front now. Here's a good name to mention here. Tyler Justice, last week, qualified on the pole for the Clash race that they did. That was before they split the rooms for the Clash. Did not have the race that he wanted, but at that time, Tyler definitely had a fast vehicle. Tonight, Tyler Justice qualified 4th. He has found his way back to the front now late in this race. That 7 truck is actually looking pretty strong here, as he's put himself in position with just coming to what's going to be about 22, 23 to go to maybe take his win here at Daytona.
There he is. Right now, they almost looked like they were going to single file it up front, but they said, no, none of that. As they bring that outside line of storming to the front, and we're back set 2 by 2 again here, lap 79 of 100. Folks, with that note, maybe now, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Let's bring the speed cam in here and show you what these guys are feeling, hearing, and everybody else out there can feel and sounds like. Let's bring the speed up on this cam right now. Tell you what, right there, as I always like to say, if that don't get your blood a pumping, nothing will. You might want to get yourself a doctor's appointment tomorrow and have them check it out, because right there, these guys, man, are thundering around here 2x2 and stacked up, man, deep all the way back into the field here, Ryan. They are looking coming up to lap number 82 here of 100. We've only got about 18 laps to go here tonight at Daytona International Speedway for the inaugural Bernie's Construction Monday Night Thunder Racing League here under the lights.
Yeah, we're getting down to go time here, that's for sure. And we talked earlier about how some of these guys were going to wait at the back and be smart. We're seeing those kinds of guys being up near the front now. Spence Thompson third on the inside lane. Now, I mentioned we keep going back to things that you and I have done in these races to try to put ourselves in position. This is the way I look at it now. You get down to lap 85. That's basically, even though there's 15 laps left in this race, I have always looked at that as 10 to go, because it's very simple. On iRacing, they do not have an overtime rule. There is no overtime. If the caution comes out with 5 or less laps to go, the race is over. So once you get down to that 5 lap mark, you have to be in the lead, and you have to hold it. And we're seeing a crash down the back straightaway. It's Spence Thompson and a lot of trucks involved.
Yeah, we were watching that one out the back end there live as that one was happening there. Unfortunate. Spence Thompson was out there making a few moves, trying to get it up top, but we are under caution here again. So let's go back and do a replay of that on live here. But we watched that one happen on the back deck lid of the man that was in front of him. So let's watch what happens here as they're coming out of the turn, Ryan. Spence looks like he went high a little bit, and there was just no room there. As it looks like the target machine just no room. I mean, basically it almost flipped that truck end over end. He got it back on the wheels, but man, that could have been more disastrous than what it was.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you have a truck that's flipping down the back straightaway like that, or almost flipping over, you definitely anticipate a lot more of an accident than that. A great job by all these drivers and their trucks to avoid that crash. But, from my what I'm looking at here, it looks like maybe there was a little bit of net code involved. The 11 truck was to the outside of the 89, kind of swerved a little bit coming off the corner because he wasn't anticipating Spence to come up like that. And when he went to get back in the line, he hadn't even quite gotten to the 89 truck yet, and it actually hooks the 89 to the right, and that's what sets up that whole accident.
Yeah, it does. I'll tell you what, here's a quick question here for you, Ryan. We're going to have about, when we go back green flag, we're going to have probably about 14 laps to go. You pit this time?
That, to me, that very much depends on where you are in the field. If I am Tyler Justice and Davis Richards, I'm staying out. If I am basically anybody from the 11 truck on back, I might consider coming in, but obviously we're seeing quite a few trucks stay out.
Yeah, we are right there. As you were saying that the front runners definitely stayed out. Now, it begs the question here. They've been out there for an awful long time since the last one, because a lot of these trucks took pit stops, I don't think, on that last caution. Actually, I'm only showing Tyler Justice having 2 stops in his whole entire race. So, tires, do you think that's going to become a problem here?
Not really, because the way the track is at night here at Daytona, it's with it being as cool as it is as well. The track temperature is only 73 degrees. These guys are not really going to burn off their tires that much. So as long as everybody else as long as everybody else stays out, anybody who also has stayed out is going to be okay. And unlike a track where it maybe like a Charlotte or something like that, where tires are key after like 2 laps, it's not necessarily the case here. Tires will give you maneuverability for a good run, but I mean, if there's nowhere to go in the draft, then they're not going to do a whole lot for you.
Well, John out there says staying out, expecting another caution. Well, I'll tell you what, the problem with that is, and I would definitely agree with that strategy there, John, if it was 30 laps or so to go. The problem with that is we're only going to have about 13 laps to go or so, roughly, by the time we go back. It would only take, you would have to have a very quick caution in order for that strategy to work, because if these guys go another roughly 10 laps or so and a caution comes out, it's over with at that point. So, yeah, I could see that strategy playing, stay out, expect a caution, but like what you just said, Ryan, too, you just can't give up that track position. Even though this is Daytona, and anybody can come from the back to the front. At this late stage, we've already seen it. These guys are locked up like glue, and it just seems like you can't go anywhere, without making an aggressive move. And when you do, you take that very high risk chance of losing the truck or getting into someone.
Yeah, I mean, and whoever said that in the chat with the whole, taking the track position, they're right. Yeah, I mean, you have to stay out now. If I'm the 51 truck of Davis Richards, there was never a question in my mind that I was going to stay out, because it's like I said before, when you get inside lap, we're on lap 86 right now. We're inside a 10-lap margin that is going to exist, where if a caution comes out again at lap 95, the race is over. So the 51 needs either one of two things to happen. He needs to be able to hold the lead, which is what he's going to try to do no matter what happens, or he's gambling on they're going to go green, there's going to be another crash, he's still going to be the leader, and then all he'll basically have to do is take the restart, and as long as he can stay out in front, the race is his to lose at that point.
Well, absolutely, Ryan. I tell you what, John out there's talking about what's the over-under on another caution. Well, I'll tell you what, that's all going to depend on a couple things out here, John. I'm going to throw out some scenarios to you. One is how patient how patient these drivers are, which that's about to get thrown out the window as much as we're going to see Matt Hoover with that Busch Light machine throwing beers out the window. It's definitely going to happen, but hey, he's definitely going to have some beers after the race. So there you go. I want to say this one's probably not over. We're definitely probably going to see another caution. Not sure on what lap, but nonetheless, man, it all depends on how happy these guys get up front. We have seen them tremendously have patience door to door, but all that it's gone. You know what you got. It's hammer down. You put it to the front. If you've got a bumper on the front of that thing, you put it to the tailgate of the guy in front of it. If you got a tailgate, you hope, man, he stays behind you with his bumper, and don't put that thing to the side of your door. So there you go. I'm looking at the fact that we're not done with a caution, but I could be wrong.
Allow me to make a Joeism for a second. These guys have purchased stock in Victory Lane, and business is about to pick up.
Absolutely. There you go, man. That's straight from Ryan W. Daniels right now. As the pace car lights are off on it, we're about to settle this thing here at Daytona International Speedway under the lights, folks. Like you said, as Chris likes to say, about intensity is about to skyrocket. I say, yeah, straight past the moon and through the sun, buddy, because it is heating up here on the asphalt under the lights. Coming out of turn number 4 here. And hopefully for the final time, pace car turn number 4. But I don't know. Like you said, if you're a driver, you get up there, tighten the seatbelts up very tightly. You get on that steering wheel and you hold on to it and hope it don't fall off, because that definitely wouldn't do you no good. Nonetheless, we're about to get set sail here as the green flag is about to fly. Pace cars in. Ryan, I tell you what, these guys are storming to the line, coming here with lap number 88 of 100, and they are stacked up 2 by 2.
Yes, they are, and this time we are not going to see these guys give an inch. These guys, it's that point. You're going to put your nose, like you just said, to the rear bumper of that truck in front of you, and you're going to do one of two things. You're going to push him past that vehicle on the outside, and you're going to try to slingshot that lead truck, or you're going to blow up trying, and we have a caution.
Well, it is. That's a big one in the back, and it did not take long. We got trucks upside down. We got trucks flying. I'm trying to get back there, see what we got going on. Ooh, unfortunately, Kenneth Jansson's one of them, so let's do a replay here right fast, see if we can't get what's going on. That didn't take long, but I tell you, folks, that's restricted plate racing for you right there.
Yeah, it is, and it all started with the 72, like you said, up in the middle of turn 1 and 2.
Well, looks like it again. We were just talking about it a minute ago. Real estate closed, the door closed on him, had nowhere to go, and man, I tell you what, trucks up on their end over end. I mean, just an unfortunate sight right there. But, well, John said it. I tell you, here's the thing. Do you come in for pits now?
No. Absolutely no way. If someone comes in and pits now, I will be shocked.
Yeah, that definitely would be that'd be a gamble, because when we go back green, you're only going to have about 5 laps to go, and and I know business is going to pick up very heavily on the track out here. And again, if you think these guys had patience throughout the race, forget about it. That is gone, because we're about to see, with 5 to go, these guys are going to say, hi, there is no friends, I got no enemies, but every one of these guys out here, I don't know you, but I definitely darn well will run right by you, and that's what I want to do. So, Ryan, it's going to get interesting here very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, and this is the point where, it's like I said, the 51, it's his race to lose now. They're going to restart. All he basically is going to have to do is make a lap, the 51 truck. And if he can hold that lead for a lap and something happens behind him, he is going to win a race at Daytona International Speedway. But he is going to have some very stiff competition in the man who will start on the outside lane this time, the number 13 of Matt Hoover, who we watched last week get this job done in the Clash. He is going to have more than a fair opportunity to do it again right here, right now.
Well, you got it 100% there. Right now, Davis in that 51 machine is thinking in the back of his mind, man, we have been glued together up front like a heck of a hot sandwich, and all night long. I got a man behind me, actually going to be beside me, and Matt Hoover in the beer machine. I don't want to get too distracted by looking at that. That's what old Matt's hoping, man. This guy's going, maybe they'll focus on, man, my Busch Light a little bit, Busch beer, and then I'll just go swooping on by him and take this thing home, and then we can have a couple doggone Busch beers afterwards. But if the 51 has anything to say about it, and don't count out that number 7 machine right there, Tyler, heck, don't count out the whole top 5, matter of fact, because those guys, any one of them can win at any given time here. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. Any of the top, anyone can still win this race. There's nothing saying, and I'm not saying that, for example, let's just say on this restart, they go into turn 3, the 13 tries to get to the inside, or tries to go low, trying to get around the 51, they touch, that entire top 10 could crash. And there could be a guy who's running 15th who now has just as equally a shot to win this race as, the 51 truck does right here up in the lead.
Well, absolutely, and you're right. That's another good point right there. That 51 and them, they could get together with somebody, take out half this field, and the guy, like you said, back on 15th, 20th, or heck, way back in 30th back there, because, well, right now we actually have 28 machines on the lead lap, so any one of them at this point could have a shot, respectively, to win this one. So it is, it's not over with, folks, so definitely go grab you a can of drink, get your sandwiches made up here, because we're about to set sail. Looks like we're probably going to have, Ryan, my estimation, probably at least 6 laps, maybe 7 laps to go when we go green flag racing again.
Yeah, the lights are still in the pace car. I'm assuming they're on 2 to go right now. So when they come by next time on lap 92, it'll be 1 more lap to green. That means they'll restart on lap 93. If they restart on lap 93, it's like we said before, they have to get to lap 95, and then the next flag ends the race after that. So it's going to be 7 laps, but it could very well be a 2-lap shootout.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 7. Actually, they have to go up probably about 3 laps, because that one, I messed that up too, man, all the time. I always look at it and go, well, it's 95. There's only 5 to go. iRacing doesn't count it that way. They count that one last lap as a lap in itself. So it's technically, when you're on 95, you have 6 laps to go. Never understood that. That always throws my math off. So, but anyways, like you just said, though, nonetheless, you're either going to have to go 2 to 3 more laps, without a caution, and that's something in the back of the number 51's mind of David Richards up front. Can I hold off these guys, as it looks like they are forming up 2 by here, and the lights still on pace car. Is it off? Is it off? Yep.
No,
We're
they're
going,
off.
Yeah, we are going green flag. Ryan's going to be lap 93 when they cross that line with the green flag flying. That's actually going to put us at 7 laps to go here tonight, folks. So they're going to have to roughly get around here at least 2 to 3 laps with fingers crossed with a without a caution, because if a caution comes out at the start, we're going to have a green-white checker. If it comes out 2 to 3 afterwards, it pretty much is over. So there you go, folks. I'll let you kind of chew on that one for a minute.
They're going to chew on it. They're going to chew on it like it's like bubble gum, but we're not here to chew bubble gum. We're here to watch a race.
Absolutely. You got it. It's lights off on a pace car heading down the back stretch. I am getting the intensity is rising and it's about to get done. We're going to have a first-time winner here for Season 2 for the Birchie Construction Monday Night Thunder Racing Series on Monday night, folks, here in the trucks under the lights, Daytona International Speedway.
It's going to be definitely entertaining here.
Absolutely. Here's a pace car is coming into turn number 3, and you know, I don't know, what do? You got your nerves are rattled as a driver. I mean, you know, some of these guys might say, yeah, I got nerves of steel. At this point, though, you're thinking, man, I don't know, as a pace car is about to take that hard left turn off on pit road and send these monster trucks flying into turn 1 at lap 93, folks. Here we go. Green flag is in the air, and they are storming the turn number 1, stacked up 2 deep all the way back.
Yes, they are, but we're seeing the 82 immediately got to the back of the 13 of Matt Hoover. He's going to give him a good push as they go into turn 1 and 2, but the 7 car is also on the bottom pushing really hard in third. He wants to be able to push that inside line back, and the top lane has no help behind those 2 trucks. Could the 7 car force his way up there and try to get the win?
Well, you know, that begs the thing, too, is a 7 car, as soon as he gets clear to that high side truck, is he going to dive up on that high side? But we see those 2 trucks on the top tandem there of Chris Baines and the 83 there, along with number 13 of Matt Hoover. They are powering back on the outside, holding their own. The 51 is the man that loves to see this right now, because he is holding them off here as we're coming to lap number 94, this time by 100, folks.
Yeah, we are. We're on lap 94, and we're seeing some trucks wiggling back in that next group behind them. They're wanting to catch back up to this pack, and we're seeing that 2-car tandem up top is still able to keep trying to get by the leader. It may come down to just a drag race off of turn 4 if these guys can make it all the way for the next 4 laps. Or,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 5 or 6 laps. I apologize.
Well, that's fine, dude. Yeah, you're going to have 5 laps to go this time by as they are storming down the back stretch here. And that high side 2-truck tandem up there of Matt Hoover and Chris Baines are holding their own as the 31 loses the draft just ever so slightly. And that might say, well, is he going to go up high with those trucks? Who knows? Is he going to stay low? But that second pack back there is trying to form up to run these guys down. They could play in a factor. If they could catch that draft and come flying to the front, Ryan, we could definitely have about an 8-truck battle for the lead here on the last lap.
Yes, we can, and we see the 13 got left hung out to dry by the 82. It's now a single file line. That is what the 7 car of Tyler Justice wanted to see, because now, as long as this thing stays green, he'll be able to try to make the move. But we are on lap 95, coming to lap 96. The next caution at this point will end the race. For me, if I'm the 7, it's go time. You have to get the lead right now. You cannot wait until the final lap. You need to assume that there could be a crash, and you need to try to get the lead right away.
Well, I'll tell you what, they fanned out up front. Kind of going to have to disagree with you on that. They fanned out. I think the reason they fanned out up front is they see those other trucks were coming in a hurry. Now, problem is what did I just say a minute ago? If they caught the intel into that draft, and they have, and they are pulling up, man, faster than a guy reeling a cartfish in. As you see the number 7 looking on the outside, he's going to hope somebody's going to come with him, because if he gets out there by himself, it's a done deal. And they reckon. And that's going to end it right there. And Chris Baines is going to be your winner. But, boy, I tell you what, the 7 took the advice there. Let's do a replay here and see what happened. But the 7 of Tyler Justice went to the outside. They went and said side by side. Got a little side draft going on there, Ryan. And I tell you, nobody went with him but a side draft. And the 51 and him just got together. And like an accordion effect, they got hooked up. And it was all she wrote from that point.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to get a look. Trying to find a caution light on the speedway, anything I can to get an idea of when this caution came out, because I don't know who won the race. I don't know if it was the 31 or if it was the 82.
Well, IR is actually showing 82, but then it's showing 31. One of my screens is showing the 31, one showing the 82. We are definitely going to get confirmation here from race control. Actually, let me see if I can't turn on the iRacing chat and see if he's talking now. I don't hear him talking. So, folks, we don't know if Andrew Canelli was in the lead when the caution flag came out, or the line that needs to be crossed, or Chris Baines was. So that's what we're waiting on. As this one definitely is going to end under caution. So, nonetheless, here, trying to see if I can't listen to Michael Redding.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
I'm trying.
We're listening to
Andrew,
race
you don't know
control.
what to do with your hands? Grab your wheel and turn it to the right. Well, anyway, this is your...
Okay, I had to cut that. Sounds like some of the drivers not very happy in there. So, hang on just a second, folks. We're going to find out one way or another here. Hold on just a second. Michael Reddish, Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Joe.
And Michael, I'll tell you what, just real quick, I know you're trying to figure it out yourself here on that last caution. We're showing Andrew Canelli leading. Is he the race winner, or will be the race winner, or did Chris Baines stay in front there?
It's whatever iRacing's giving them, so it looks like Andrew Cardinelli right now.
All right, well, good deal. That's what we wanted. I was just waiting on the confirmation. I clicked on the iRacing chat, but it seems like a couple of the drivers out there are a little angry, so I clicked that off real quick. And I figured I'd jump up here and see if I can't get from the horse's mouth himself right up here, race director Michael Redding. All right, Ryan, I jumped up there in the booth up there with race director Michael Redding. He is saying it's whatever iRacing is going to give him. And right now, iRacing is showing Andrew Canelli the leader. Chris Bain is second and Matt Hoover in third. So, with that said, as of right now, we're going to say unofficial until we get a absolute definitely. As soon as he crosses that start-finish line and the checker flag is there, we're going to ride around here in the caution, but as of right now, unofficially, we're going to say Andrew Canelli is the winner tonight in the Bertzies Construction Monday Night Thunder Daytona Series race here for the inaugural season number 2, kicking off the season here tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, and I was able to find exactly when the caution came out, and iRacing has it correct. The 31 is going to win this race, and it is by the slimmest of margins.
Yep, and it was. Actually, when we was watching the replay of the wreck back there, I was really uncertain. I thought at first it said Chris Baines, but then I saw the replay, and I noticed Andrew was right there on the inside, so it had to be inches, definitely. And just a clarification out there, we definitely don't want any language or anything, and that's why I keep the chats off and iRacing and whatnot. So even though we got a lot of adults in here, I still am, you don't hear it on the real one, you're not going to hear it here either, if I can help it. So, nonetheless, that's kind of why I did what I did, is clicked off that real quick. Notice a lot of the drivers were kind of angry, but looks like we're going to have the white flag this time by, and so far, Andrew's still the man in that 31, so he might have took it here, and it might have been for the very slim of margins.
I'm actually currently working on making a screenshot for these guys, just so in case they need it, a shot of the margin of victory, and I will probably post that to Twitter. It is so close.
Yeah, well, it looked like it from the replay I was showing of the wreck, and I just happened to look down at the bottom, and I said, And that's when I was noticing my chart was flipping between the two, and I said, well, I tell you what, the number 31 must have just barely got by him at that, what they call the cutoff line for when the caution came out. But nonetheless, white flag, and Andrew's still there, so this has been a thriller nonetheless. It's everything we expected it to be here at Daytona. We end Speed Weeks in fashion here at OSR Network, and I appreciate all the viewers for staying in, tuning in. It's late night here. Heck, it's 12:15 Eastern, but definitely nonetheless, you saw a thrilling heck of a race.
Yeah, you did. I mean, if you were able to catch this race live, and even if you watched the replay of this race, you caught yourself a fantastic, fantastic race and a great performance by all of these guys here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. None of these guys walk out of here tonight, some of them might want to, with their head held low, because, I mean, each and every one of these guys put on a tremendous show and drove the wheel slap off of every one of these machines around this 2.5 mile track, and it's going to get even better as the season goes on. It's just going to be I don't know, but tonight that man in the number 31 machine, it seems like he's going to be the one that's going to take this win here under caution, folks. Chris Baines so close to almost eking this one out, and then there Matt Hoover rounding out the top three. And before we see it, Ryan, we hit 32 lead changes tonight as we see Andrew is going to cross the line and take the victory here and the checker flag.
Yes, he is. Andrew Canelli just in the right place at the right time. And I'm going to try to take a guess at that margin of victory somewhere in the range, because iRacing isn't going to show it, unfortunately. It's going to show whatever the margin was at the line. Joe, it was less than a hundredth of a second between those two trucks when that caution light turned on. It was so close.
Wow. I tell you what. Well, my next thing is yes, we do have Andrew. He is in team speak. Let me see if we have Matt Hoover and Chris Baines. Let's see if they're in team speak. Let's see. Matt Hoover is. And trying to see if Chris Baines. Well, nonetheless, we do know Matt Hoover. And you should be able to move people around. Yeah, you can. Matt Hoover's up there at the top, up there at the driver's lounge. I'll let you go ahead and pull him down here and get an interview with him.
Okay. Driver number 13 who finished third, and we will pull him in here.
Up top, yep.
Matt Hoover, this is Ryan Daniels up in the OSR Network TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Good run tonight, man. You put that 13 truck in position to try to win that race, and if not for that them shuffling you out there at the end there, I really thought you might have had a great shot in that 13 truck. You won last week at the Clash. Got to feel good, though, nonetheless, to come away with a second-place finish here tonight.
You know, I do feel really good about it. It's just unfortunate. I'm not real sure what happened on that green start. It seemed like a lot of the field kind of lagged behind, and ultimately I didn't have any help, so kind of fell back. But it's unfortunate for my teammate Davis Richards that got took out, but as always next week.
Well, you guys definitely put on a heck of a performance here tonight. The inaugural race here this season for the Monday Night
Monday Night Thunder.
Yes, thank you. Monday Night Thunder Truck Series Racing League, and just got to feel good nonetheless, though, to come out of Daytona in the top three. I don't finish in this race is such a big deal for you drivers, but third has got to feel pretty good in some form.
For sure. I mean, just to make it through the race is all I could ask for. It's a crapshoot on these kind of tracks. You just never know.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming up here and talking with us. And is there anybody else that you want to thank before we get you back down there to your crew?
I'd like to thank Michael Redding and Bradley Wilson for setting this thing up. Thank my teammate, Davis Richards. Unfortunately, got taken out. And thank Birdie's Construction for sponsoring this thing.
All right. Well, we again appreciate you coming in here and talking with us, and we're gonna get you back up to the main room there, and we're gonna let Joe White here talk to the winner.
Well, I tell
Thanks,
you
boys.
what. All right, man. I tell you what. I want to run down here to Victory Lane tonight as Andrew Carnelli. I tell you, in that number 31 machine, the pit stop inside there, PSI machine, bringing that thing into Victory Lane here. The confettis are flying. He is loving it for the Birchie's Construction Monday Night Thunder season opener here at Daytona. Andrew, how you feeling?
I don't know what to do with my hands, Joe.
Well, congratulations. I tell you what, you eked that thing out ever so slightly. My colleague here, Ryan W. Daniels, went back and watched that replay 9 million ways but the right way. And I tell you, he said, man, Joe, it was ever so slightly the margin as we were watching them crash behind you.
Oh, yeah. Chris got a great run on the outside of me and nearly had me there. I was praying that I got that and saw my name ahead of him, and oh, man. That was crazy.
Well, it was. I tell you what, your crew out there brought a heck of a machine here to Daytona, and it paid off. You guys put on a very tremendous show tonight of patience, poise, but just hard charging to the front, tooth and nail, side by side. Everyone loved watching it. You got anybody out there you want to thank?
Oh, of course, man. I got to thank Michael and Bradley for putting this show on, and David and Eric and Zach and Blaine for always trying to make me a better driver. Michael and Bradley too in that case, and gotta thank my team, Blake and Blaine, just like last night, man. I mean, we're putting on a show down here in Speed Weeks all of a sudden.
Absolutely. You have put this thing to the front, and congratulations. My hat's off to you as they're out there knocking the fenders off of that thing. Your crew don't care. They're like, hey, go ahead, beat it down. We don't need it. It's going into the museum. We'll put new fenders and a new bullet in that thing and bring it back next time to Daytona and Talladega because, man, you definitely are the winner tonight. Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you so much, man. Going from racing my way into this to making it and now winning. And the crazy thing is I still got to race my way into Atlanta in the next race after that, but that's how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again tonight. Ryan, I tell you, my hat's off to him. These guys, they're feeling it. They love it. It has been a heck of a race. And I tell you what, while we're here, we got a few, because we didn't see our second place man anywhere. There's a gentleman up there by the name of Davis Richards. You want to bring him down? His number 51 machine.
Sure.
Davis Richards, Joe White in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, Joe?
Oh, nothing much. I tell you what, y'all guys put on a thriller tonight of a lot of exciting racing here for 100 laps under light at Daytona International Speedway. And unfortunately, probably not the night you were looking for, but hey, how'd you feel in the truck?
Man, we had a fast truck, the Burroughs Collision Center Birdie's Chevrolet, and man, I thought I was gonna win it there at the end. I was comfortable, led I don't remember how many laps, but led quite a few laps, and I was feeling really comfortable in the truck, and I thought we were gonna get a win out of there.
Absolutely, I tell you, and it just was one of those deals where it was ever so close, and I mean, it came down to the end. We were up here taking bets on when the next caution was going to fly and what was going to happen and whatnot. So we definitely knew that something was going to happen. And hey, it's Daytona. It's exciting all around. But you got anybody out there you want to thank?
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank Birdie's Construction for sponsoring the series and sponsoring my truck as well, and for my teammate Matt Hoover. He was pushing me and he was in the side of me there, and we were hoping we were going to be able to put it on the front row. But we'll go out to Atlanta next week and hope for a better finish.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, and then I appreciate y'all saying that name. I know I probably messed it up all night long. I would think I was saying the Birdsey Construction, but as a Birdies is what it is.
Yes, sir. Birdies.
Birds, okay. And I tell you what's new to me because actually I just got that logo this week, and I think that was just a sponsor deal that actually signed on this week for the Monday Night Thunder Racing League. So I know they're happy there, Bradley and Michael and all them. But nonetheless, congratulations again tonight there, Davis, man, for bringing that thing home where you did. It was an awesome feat. Y'all guys, man, you drove the wheels off of it.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you for broadcasting the race, man. You do one heck of a job up there.
Well, I appreciate it. I couldn't do it, man, without my man here, Ryan, and everyone else watching out there. But, again, like I say, Ryan, I mean, hey, all these drivers out here put on a show, and it looks like we got Waylon Lamb up in here. And, Waylon, how you feeling?
Oh, what's going on, Joe? I'm just here, seeing some post-race action, seeing what you guys are talking about.
Well, still live, and get some interviews in with the top three here. Nonetheless, they put on a show. Watching actually the winner out there just burn that thing down. He don't care about leaving tires or leaving the motor or whatnot. But how'd your truck feel tonight?
It was all right there for a little while, and then I got into a wreck, and yeah, pretty much had to play the little strategy of when to use the fast repair game. And unfortunately, with the late race cautions, I wasn't able to actually get my way back to the front. But overall, it was all right.
Well, good deal, I tell you. Well, that's just plate style racing, but we go next week to a different track, a different style, and it's definitely going to pay off differently for you. So hopefully you can bring a heck of a machine out there, pull off the win, and you got anybody out there you want to thank?
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I mean, I enjoy watching the broadcast, and I think you're one of the, better, I'm going to go ahead and say it, the greatest commentator that, we can broadcast on iracing. I enjoy watching you, and I appreciate you taking the time to broadcast our league and all the other leagues out there. I mean, it means a lot that us guys out here can drive, but also have something that we can watch and look forward to each time we come out onto the racetrack.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna stay humble either way and say I just appreciate it. I don't know about being the greatest, but there's some other guys out there that are definitely a heck of a lot greater than I am. So, but and like I say, I got to give a lot of props to my man Ryan W. Daniels. He helps me out a lot. Y'all are going to hear me and him both in the booth on Sunday nights together. And obviously you hear us on Thursday. Definitely going to get the feel of us come next season with Wednesday and Thursday. So it was a joy to have him up here with me. And it's a joy to do this league. I am very blessed, thankful for all the viewers. I've said it time and time again. Eventually they're going to get tired of me saying it. Hopefully not, but anyways, I said I'm thankful to the viewers out there, for you drivers, for the leagues, and it's awesome to put on a show. But nonetheless, y'all put on a terrific show out there. I mean, you had the viewers out here on their feet, anticipation of what was going to happen all the way to the bitter end.
Yes, sir, we did. And I'm going to give one more shout out to Michelle out there in the chat. I know she likes to chat up a cool breeze, like you would say. Just want to shout her out, and I see all the things that she does for the Facebook page. So, we're looking forward to Atlanta next week. And we'll make sure that out front motorsport truck is going to take pole and finish first place. I'm going to go ahead and call that now. But, no, look forward to next week and appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations again. Hats off to you tonight here, Waylon. But I tell you, Ryan, man, what a thriller. Tonight it was Under the Lights Daytona, and it always is as we conclude and we head out of this place. I know a lot of drivers are probably going, man, we're done. Let's get out of here, pack up, go home, because this is, the Daytona, you might like coming here, but when you're here and you get done with it, you're ready to go.
Yeah, well, hey, that's some people's opinion. I mean, I'm gonna miss Daytona. This week has been very fun to watch, whether we were broadcasting or racing, and been very good to me. And certainly a week that I almost wish I could live again, because that was pretty cool this week. But nonetheless, a fantastic night, and it is time to say goodbye to Daytona for this week. And you're right, everything, everywhere, rolling on to Atlanta. Even a couple of the divisions, or not divisions, the leagues that we broadcast will be there this week as well.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, somebody out there said they want to hear Tyler, and I'm taking them saying that you want to hear Tyler Justice. He is not in the team speak. And normally what has happened this week, folks, is Bradley P. Wilson kind of messed up a little bit. He didn't put enough slots in, and when he went and made the room, I wasn't able to get in as a normal driver so that I could actually interview through the iRacing chat and whatnot. So I'm up here in team speak, and that's the difference. So don't see Tyler Justice, but anyways, we will get him next week, and we'll try to get any of the drivers and try to get interviews throughout, like was what I like trying to do. So Ryan, man, I tell you what, like I say, this was a thriller, and these guys put on a heck of a show. Let's do a quick rundown here. Tonight's winner, Andrew Cornelli, right there, pulling it home tonight at Daytona. Chris Baines in second, Matt Hoover in third, Blake Phelan in fourth, Aaron Friend in fifth, Eric Tesh in sixth, Terry Mason seventh, Zach Lindgren in eighth, Kyle Porosky, and I know I just butchered that one. I apologize, in ninth, and Brian Hartford rounds the top 10. You got your results up there, Ryan?
Yes, I do. I am trying to pull him back up here real quick. In 11th place, we had Gerald West in the number 86 car. Waylon Lamb bringing it home in 12th. Chris Akers got it home in 13th tonight. Ryan Broderick got it home in 14th. Joshua Spalding in 15th. Corey Walters got his truck home in 16th spot. Mike T. Bruno brought it home in 17th. Joseph Stafford 18th. Josh Sturgill in 19th. And last year's champion, the number 89, Spence Thompson, rounds out our top 20.
And then we go to 21st. It's Kenneth Yance, and 22nd, Christopher Matthews, 23rd, Blake Phelan, 24th, William L. Smith, 25th, Tyler Justice. Unfortunately, right down the last lap, was looking like he might have had something. Ended up in the back there. 26th, DJ Hargrove, 27th, Davis Richards, 28th, David A. Levine, 29th, Bradley P. Wilson, and the 30th is Dustin German.
All right, and 31st, we had Danny Flynn in the 33 Target Chevrolet. Justin Alexander brings his machine home in 32nd. Robbie Buckner brought it home in 33rd. Ike Raymond Jr. brought it home 34th. Dennis Ellis brought it home in 35th. Derek Prater brought it home in 36th. Billy Hargrove in 37th. Blake L. Neese in 38th. Curtis Lowers in 39th. And Michael Redding rounds out the field in 40th spot.
And folks, right there is your top runners here tonight at Daytona Under the Lights. Again, congratulations to Andrew Cornelli bringing home the win tonight under lights at Daytona. Well, with that note, Ryan, you got any final words?
Just once again, thank you all the fans for watching. Thank you, Joe, for having me, and thank you for this league for allowing me to come up here and help you broadcast it. And I am about, once we finish the stream, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take my screenshots that I have from the finish of this race and post it to my Twitter. So you can follow me at RDNation1928 on Twitter, and you will be able to see the margin of victory screenshot there.
Well, absolutely, and I might just kind of get that from you, and actually we'll put it out there for OSR Network on Twitter also, as you can check it out. And also check us out, OSR Network on YouTube, here live each and every week for the Birdsey's Construction Monday Night Thunder Racing League, plus their ARCA series on Sunday night is what we also call here. Also, check us out for the many other leagues that we do. Websites coming, online, simracingnetwork.com. But for myself, Joe White up here in the booth, and Ryan W. Daniels here at Daytona, we're going to fly out of here, folks. Till next week, good night, and everyone have a good one.